I have no issues with Cornette. None.
Oh no, I love him. Yeah, well, I travel with him a lot too.
I do. Me too. I do anything for him. He gains Zettel.
And I learned a lot from him too. I mean, man, when I first started working with him, when the Midnight Express first arrived at the TVS studios in '85, I stuck the microphone from him. I knew immediately this guy was going to be, sensational. And they did business. Man.
I did his first interview in Mid South for the syndicated shows, coming soon type deal, right? Yeah. So I'm sitting at this table, this high top thing, that a chair, little podium in front of me where I did the favors. So he goes up there, and from the minute he opened his mouth, he ripped me anew. My hair, my teeth, my clothes, my cheeks, whatever.
Yeah, you got to do some better cheeks.
Yeah, I got to work. And so we do the interview, 2 minutes. And I'm wondering if this son of a bitch is going to take a breath. Does he just not have, does he have unlimited supply of oxygen? Because I don't think he's breathing.
Yeah.
So we do the interview, the cowboy listened to it, that's that word in the interview. He said, well, you got a little problem here. I think he's talking a technical problem, but it didn't record or something. He said, we're going to do that over. Because Jimmy, talking to Cornette, as long as I'm alive, you and my television announcer will never be booked to have a match. And you did your whole promo at him, as if you're going to have a match. So that ostensibly was to get you over. I want you to get you and your team over. And I want you to mention some other tag teams here, probably who they might be. And so you got a little schooling, the cowboy. Promo 1, he came step right back in the batter's box. And he kicked ass. He hit no retakes, no fumbles, no nothing. Boom! And he nailed it. But the Memphis thing was always guys, heels it. You know, their big issue, as creative as it was after a while, was making fun of Lance Russell's nose. So that shtick play forever. And they've usually, it's a new regard, I thought, sometimes. I really enjoyed working with them.
Man. Good man. Didn't get enough credit. He and Bob Caudle never got enough credit.
Oh, you're right. Their work would hold up to date as well as anything, though. Bob Caudle is what a gem in life. What a guy.
I remember, don't know what date it was obviously the early 80s, mid 80s maybe. And we were doing, the Crockett's used to go out and do these, you know, the city, if you remember, syndicated tapings around the Carolinas, right? And they had me working with Bob Caudle. And I remember standing there, we both had those long stick mics.
Yeah.
I stand there on the set, getting ready to tape something, and I was giddy marking out. And I said, Bob, I said, I just want to let you know, for me to be able to stand beside you is one of the biggest moments of my life. I said, I'm not overselling this, and because I was serious. I watched him growing up, and now I'm standing with you, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
It's one of the biggest thrills of my life. It's a day out. We were Spartanburg. I don't know exactly the year or the time, but I can remember that day. Standing beside a Bob Caudle.
It was an honor for me to stand beside you. And look, here's the thing about it. You and David were doing that worldwide show, which is the #1 syndicated show in the company.
Right.
And the most distribution.
Right.
It's placed in more stations.
Right.
So, Rowdy Bob did the NWA Pro show.
That's right.
So here's the new guy comes in, me. He's not even on the A show anymore.
Right.
He's not even doing play-by-play anymore.
Right.
He's a color guy.
Right.
You think he ever said shit about it one time? He said never. Never. Our road trips together were memories I'll have forever.
Yeah.
Because, I can't remember when we first discovered the Cracker Barrel. That was on the load right there. You know, Bob loved the Cracker Barrel. Collards, some fried.
Yeah.
The dean, Gordon Solie, Lance Russell would say, Lance, how was your trip? If you ride with Gordon. And Lance would be driving, by the way.
Yeah.
Lance would say, well, old Gordy had quite the night. I think Gordy, he called it Gordy all the time. I thought, I'd never heard anybody else call Gordon Solie Gordy. Gordy had a rough night, and, Lance said, and he wasn't quite right this morning.
Well, there was one night, and I don't know if you were with us or not. We were in Charleston, South Carolina. I guess we had a clash or whatever, and all the announcers are eating together. And I never will forget it. You're walking back to the car, and Gordon was fall down drunk at that night. And he fell down in the parking lot. God. And Lance picked him up, dusted him off, basically, one-armed him to the car. He just looked. He looked.
I was at dinner before the show.
It was dinner the night before the show.
Night before.
Yeah.
Well, I helped get him hired back there, WCW, and they said, well, I said he's famous. So he had a great name identity. His voice is symbolic of that brand on Saturday night. Right. I said, and I think we had to pay back things to people that paved the way. He was a big part of this, building this brand here. Right? So the first time I brought him in, we did the production down in the food court area where the production facility was at that time at the CNN Center. And I brought him in during the day and to record that afternoon and buy him dinner that night, sing low the next morning. It sounded really nice on paper. By the time he got me there in the afternoon, 2 or 3 o'clock from Tampa, he'd already stopped by the Crown Room in Hartsfield Airport to drink a free vodka. And so when he got to the work, he was shit-faced. So we had to put everything it is on the prompter, which in hindsight was a good idea anyway. So he could edit and stuff. He could, change a few words, whatever he wanted to do to make it him. But we didn't make him start with a blank page. So I learned a lesson on that first trip. You bring him up, you do a little Gordon Solie commentary. I'm Gordon Solie.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted him on camera. I wanted to hear his voice. Right. It was to the detached fan, it was something positive. So what I started doing after that was I'd fly him up in the afternoon and check him into the hotel, the Omni Hotel. You know where he's going to go, right to the bar. Mm-hmm. Then I scheduled all of his production with Keith Mitchell the next morning, like at 8 o'clock.
Sure.
So you got ahead of the curve on that. So we'd do this work. You'd be sober. And then we would take it to the airport, fly him back to Tampa. We made it work for him. So, well, you should. I felt good about that whole deal. One time we did a two-hour Saturday night shows in Birmingham. And I don't know why it worked out this way. I think you were probably gone. I don't know what happened. Can't remember. But he was my partner for two-hour shows. And man, he did not want to do it. So I sent a associate producer. It might have been Neil Pruitt. I'm not even sure. But somebody there, go get me a Igloo cooler where you can push the little button and the liquid. Mm-hmm. And fill it. Give me a big container. Put at least a fifth. I think we put a half a gallon of vodka in it. And then orange juice. Stirred it all at the ice. Mm-hmm. So he brings it all back out, sets it back down there by where we're broadcasting. And I'm get the little spout thing. Give me a little screwdriver. And I say, we're down, have something to drink. I got gin. I want vodka or gin. Just drink the humor my ass, okay? Just for a second. Take a sip to see if you like what you're drinking. And of course, it was some strong ass screwdrivers.
Yeah.
All that vodka. Well, my God, he perked up like he just won the lottery.
Whatever fuels you, right?
Whatever it took to get the show done.
Yeah.
That's the old wrestling promoters say. You got to do what you got to do to get the match in the ring.